I'm Dr. Katherine Harris. If you clicked on this video, there's a good chance you're living with a quiet ache that's hard to put into words. One of you wants intimacy more often, and the other doesn't. And neither of you knows how to make it feel fair, loving, or easy again. I want to start with a truth that can save you a lot of confusion. Desire isn't a moral scorecard. Wanting more doesn't make you needy. Wanting less doesn't make you cold. Desire is a living system that responds to stress, safety, routine, health, and meaning. When we understand that, the conversation shifts from "what's wrong with you" to "what would help both of us feel good and respected here?" That shift is where relief begins. Before we go anywhere practical, I want to broaden how you think about desire itself. Some people experience desire spontaneously, like a spark that shows up on its own. Others experience desire responsively, meaning it rises after warm connection, after the body feels safe, after the mind is unburdened. Neither style is better, and many of us move between them over a lifetime. The problem is that couples often mistake the absence of a spontaneous spark as the absence of desire altogether, and that's not true. If one of you needs a runway rather than a spark, your relationship isn't broken. It's asking for a different rhythm. Now let's name the dynamic that often forms around this difference. One partner becomes the pursuer, carrying hope, initiation, and fear of rejection. The other becomes the withdrawer, carrying pressure, guilt, and the fear of failing their partner. This pursue-withdraw cycle is not a character flaw. It's a loop created by good people protecting themselves. The high desire partner pulls closer to feel loved. The lower desire partner pulls back to feel safe. The more one pulls, the more the other retreats. If you can see that without blame, you've already loosened the knot. Your project isn't to convert one person to the other's style. It's to build a bridge that both can walk without stepping on their dignity. Let's talk about the invisible forces that compress desire. Stress is number one. When your system is flooded with tasks, alerts, bills, and noise, your brain prioritizes survival, not play. Sleep debt, resentment, and unfinished arguments also siphon energy away from connection. Some medications lower desire. Hormonal shifts across the lifespan change the body's readiness. Chronic pain and untreated health issues make closeness feel like another job. None of that is personal. If nobody ever told you that desire is sensitive to context, you might have spent years believing a story about yourself. "I'm broken," or "my partner doesn't love me." The truth is gentler. Your context is louder than your drive. We can change context. I'm going to give you a step-by-step path to rebalance desire that honors both of you. Think of it as a spiral rather than a straight line. You'll circle the same themes with more ease each time: safety, clarity, playfulness, and care. And I'll talk to both partners directly, because you each hold a key. First, the reset. For 2 weeks, shift the goal from having sex to rebuilding the conditions where desire can breathe. Call this your connection reset. During this time, commit to daily micro-rituals that signal, "You matter to me, and I want to enjoy you." That might be a 10-minute walk after dinner with phones away, a long hug at the door where you both exhale fully, or brewing a cup of tea for the other before bed. Small, predictable acts lower vigilance. When the body stops bracing, warmth returns. This reset period is not a trick to get sex. It's an investment in the soil, not a demand for fruit. Second, clarify the story you're each carrying. High desire partner. Your story might be, "I'm always rejected. I guess I'm not attractive." Low desire partner. Your story might be, "I'm failing. My body won't cooperate. I'm never enough." Put those sentences on paper. Say them aloud to each other with the preface, "Here's the story I tell myself when we struggle." Then respond with, "What I want you to know is..." This isn't therapy speak. It's nervous system hygiene. When you name the story, your brain doesn't have to keep proving it. You open a door to new evidence. Third, Make a turn-ons, turn-offs inventory together. You each list 10 tiny things that make connection easier for you and 10 tiny things that shut it down. Keep it ordinary and honest. A turn-on might be no screens in the bedroom, a clean kitchen before bed, unhurried affection without a destination, words of appreciation during the day, an invitation earlier rather than late. A turn-off might be pressure disguised as a back rub, criticism about my body, ambushing me at midnight, jokes that make desire feel like a chore, feeling like another task on the list. Then trade lists, circle 3 you can each deliver this week and report back. You're not solving desire, you're removing its brakes while gently tapping its accelerators. Fourth, schedule closeness, but rename it. The word sex carries freight, expectations, old disappointments, and a scoreboard. Call the scheduled time us hour, pillow time, or simply connection. You're not penciling an obligation, you're protecting a window from the storms of life. For many low-desire partners, knowing a time is coming lets the mind clear space and the body anticipate safety instead of bracing for surprise requests. For many high-desire partners, the calendar reduces the dread of guessing wrong and getting rejected. 2 anchored windows a week, one that's purely affectionate and one that's open to intimacy if it feels right, can change the emotional climate quickly. Fifth, restore the ladder of intimacy, one rung at a time. Picture a ladder with rungs like eye contact, lingering hugs, slow kisses, back or foot rubs, clothed cuddling, playful touch, and beyond. Many couples with a desire gap try to leap from no contact to the highest rung because they're starving. That leap is anxiety for one partner and disappointment for the other. Climb. Let yourselves savor the lower rungs without turning them into a contract for more. When the body learns, this feels good and I'm not about to be pushed, it begins to ask for more on its own. That is responsive desire waking up. High desire partner, your superpower is patience and delight. Low desire partner, your superpower is guidance. This, not that, slower, I like when. Both are acts of love. Sixth, complete your stress cycles daily. Desire returns when stress has somewhere to go. Movement helps. Walk, stretch, dance, lift, breathe. So does laughter, deep crying, a good conversation that reaches resolution, even humming or singing in the shower. Thank your body for doing its job. When you both commit to closing stress loops, intimacy stops competing with survival. You'll be amazed how a 15-minute walk together can soften an evening more than any candle ever could. Seventh, clean up resentments and chore inequities. Nothing lowers the flame like silent ledgers of unfairness. Sit down with a pen and list the invisible labor in your home: who anticipates birthdays, who handles medical appointments, who tracks school forms or pet care, who plans the meals, who cleans up after meals, who initiates hard conversations with family members. Rebalance it. When life feels fair, bodies relax. Desire thrives in fairness. This might be the most sensual thing you will ever do for each other without touching. Eighth, take an honest inventory of health factors. If one of you has noticed changes in energy, mood, or comfort, talk to a clinician you trust. Thyroid issues, anemia, chronic pain, pelvic floor tension, hormonal transitions, sleep apnea, anxiety, depression, and certain medications, including some antidepressants and antihypertensives, can reduce desire. So can excessive alcohol, high caffeine late in the day, and blue light at night. This is not about blame, it's about data. When you treat the body kindly, desire stops feeling like it's failing a test. If you need professional support, medical, psychological, or pelvic health, seeking it is a sign of care, not failure. Ninth, create an invitation ritual that doesn't feel like a trap. The most tender moment in desire discrepancy is initiation. High desire partner, if every invitation is, "Are you in the mood?" at 11:30 p.m., you'll collect no's, and each no will sting. Instead, initiate earlier with options and zero pressure. After dinner, want to curl up and watch that show or take a bath together? I'd love some closeness either way. Low desire partner, respond in a way that keeps the door open even when it's a no. I don't have energy for more tonight, but I'd love to cuddle and talk. Saturday morning could be great for more connection. Can we plan on that? This is how you protect the relationship from the corrosion of repeated rejection while protecting yourself from pressure. 10th, gently rewrite your shared story about intimacy. If you've spent years thinking intimacy is only one thing, it's easy to feel defeated when that one thing isn't happening on cue. Expand the menu. Intimacy is a spectrum. Eyes meeting when you wake, a slow kiss in the kitchen, holding hands while you run errands, a quiet hour reading feet to feet, a shared shower with no script, a Sunday nap together, whispering gratitudes at night, exploring touch at a pace that feels good for both. When the menu is rich, you stop measuring your love in single units. Frequency stops being the scoreboard, connection becomes the culture. Now let me speak directly to each of you. To the high desire partner, I know what it's like to feel like the beggar at your own table. I know the sting of hearing "not tonight" and feeling it as not you. Your task is not to convince or perform, it's to become a calming presence. Replace protest with invitation, replace tallying with appreciation. Notice and name what you love about your partner outside the bedroom. Keep your humor warm and never weaponize it. Ask for what you want clearly and early, then let go of the outcome. Remember that desire cannot be coerced, only welcomed. Your steadiness is an aphrodisiac because it builds safety. To the low desire partner, I know what it's like to feel watched by expectations, to feel like your body owes a performance you're not ready to give. Your task isn't to become someone else, it's to become the expert on what helps your own desire wake up. Define your runway, time of day, energy conditions, kinds of affection that soothe you, words that make you feel chosen rather than graded. Advocate for those without apology. Allow yourself to play with the lower rungs of the ladder without promising the top. And consider that desire is not a switch but a dimmer. When you let yourself feel a 2 out of 10 without judging it, it's amazing how often that 2 turns into a 6. Your guidance is a gift because it gives the relationship a map. Let's build a weekly rhythm you can adopt immediately. On Sunday, spend 10 minutes doing a State of Us check-in. Each person shares 2 highs from the week, 1 low, and 1 request for the coming week. Then choose 2 connection windows, 1 purely affectionate, 1 open to intimacy. On Tuesday and Thursday, commit to your micro rituals, walks, hugs, tea, gratitude. On Friday, clean up any resentments or logistics that crept in. On Saturday morning or afternoon, whatever your energy naturally supports, enter your protected connection window. Music, warm lighting, phones out of sight, no scripts, lots of curiosity. If it flows toward deeper closeness, wonderful. If it stays affectionate, you still win because you fed the culture. Repeat. This is how desire stops being an event and becomes an ecosystem. I also want to talk about meaning. Desire isn't only about sensation. It's about who we feel we are in our partner's eyes. When someone says, "I don't feel desired," they're often saying, "I don't feel admired, chosen, delighted in." When someone says, "I don't feel desire," they're often saying, "I don't feel safe, rested, seen, or connected to myself." So, cultivate admiration out loud. Name what impresses you about your partner's mind, ethics, humor, tenderness, discipline, creativity. And cultivate self-connection. Give yourself pockets of solitude, movement, creativity, and calm so that intimacy is an overflow, not a depletion. There will be moments when you slip. An invitation will land wrong. An evening will collapse under fatigue. A comment will sting. This is normal. What matters is repair. A good repair sounds like, "I see how that felt like pressure. I'm sorry. You're more important to me than any plan." Or, "I know I've been scarce. I'm overwhelmed. I care about us, and I want to try again." Saturday. Repair is not admitting you're wrong about wanting what you want. It's choosing the relationship over being right about the timing or the method. If you've endured a season of distance, it can feel like you're trying to start a fire with wet wood. Be patient. Keep stacking dry kindling. Kindness, fairness in chores, early invitations, laughter, presence, eye contact, non-demand touch, breath. The flame may flicker, then settle, then surprise you one night when you least expect it. If you've endured painful experiences, medical pain, breaches of trust, unresolved grief, please consider bringing a professional into your circle. There is no shame in getting help. Strong couples use every tool available to create a life they love. Now, a word about fairness. It's tempting to look for a perfect middle. If I want 5 times a week and you want once a month, let's land on X. But fairness in intimacy isn't a simple average. It's flexible generosity over time, guided by honest information. If one partner is in a season of heavy stress, compassion might look like more affectionate windows and fewer erotic expectations. If a season becomes a pattern, compassion might look like actively treating the stressor, rather than letting the relationship carry the cost forever. This is why your weekly check-ins matter. They keep you from drifting for months without noticing. Let's add a practical tool you can use tonight, the 3-minute exchange. Each of you gets 3 minutes to receive affection the way you like it. Fully clothed, no agenda, no escalation. The receiver teaches with simple, kind words. Softer, stay right there, slower, that's lovely, then you switch. 6 minutes, that's it. If it ends there, you've still built trust and pleasure. If it invites more, you'll follow it together. This tiny practice retrains both nervous systems to associate closeness with clarity and care. Over time, that association becomes your new baseline. Another tool, early invitations. High desire partner, send a warm text in the morning. Thinking of you. I'd love some unhurried closeness after dinner. Low lights, music, just us. Low desire partner, if that sounds inviting but you're unsure about energy, reply with a yes and boundary. Yes to closeness. Let's keep it cozy and see where we are. Can we leave dishes for tomorrow so I can actually relax? Clear, optimistic, bounded. Desire thrives when it knows the plan won't outrun the body. Now let's address a fear many couples never say aloud. What if our desire never matches? You don't need matching, you need harmony. Harmony means the music feels good even when you're singing different notes. It means neither of you is erased or shamed. It means there's movement and creativity, not rigid scripts. It means you can miss sometimes without despairing, because you've built so many ways to be close. When harmony is your goal, every kindness counts as practice, and practice is what changes a culture. I want you to hear this clearly. You are not behind. You are not failing. You're learning a language that most of us were never taught, how to honor 2 nervous systems, 2 histories, 2 bodies, and 1 love. If all you can do today is take a walk together and touch base about what would make the week feel lighter, that matters. If all you can do is replace 1 complaint with 1 appreciation, that matters. If all you can do is put your phone away during your us hour, that matters. What rekindles desire isn't a single grand gesture, but 1,000 tiny, reliable signals that say, you are safe with me, you are wanted, we're in this together. As we close, picture the version of your relationship where desire feels less like a fight and more like a shared garden. The high desire partner doesn't hover with a stopwatch. They water and smile and trust the roots. The low desire partner doesn't apologize for the weather. They tend the soil, pull the weeds of stress and resentment, and ask for the sunlight they need. Some weeks, blooms surprise you. Other weeks, you appreciate the green. Over months, the garden becomes a place you both love to visit, because it reflects the care you've given, not the pressure you've survived. So tonight, start with 1 small promise you can keep. Choose your 2 connection windows for the week. Make your turn-ons, turn-offs lists and trade them. Put 1 stress-closing activity on the calendar and 1 chore rebalancing conversation on the table. Protect your invitation ritual from pressure, and protect your refusals from eroding closeness. When you practice these small things consistently, desire doesn't have to be chased. It comes home on its own. I'm Dr. Katherine Harris, and if this spoke to you, it's because your love is alive and asking for better conditions, not because it's broken. Take a breath together. Hold each other for 30 seconds longer than usual. Whisper one true appreciation in your partner's ear tonight. That's how you begin to rebalance desire, not by forcing a spark, but by learning to be the steady warmth that lets the spark appear.